This is it. The final OTA practice. Let's go. What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 squad? Welcome back into another video. All right, this is the final OTA practice. No more practices from there on. I'm a little bit relieved because I don't want my channel to just be this content, because although I like making these type of videos for you guys, and you guys obviously love it as well, as I break down every single thing that happened in practice and all the storylines. But at the same time, it's becoming a little bit redundant. I want to change the content on my channel a little bit. It almost seems like that I'm just like a recap channel. So I'm glad that this is the final OTA practice. We got some other projects coming up very soon. Keep on the lookout for that, guys. I got another short doc I'm working on that I am going to start working on. I already kind of started it a little bit on my day off on Wednesday. And then we have the Hard Knocks that's going to be happening soon, and we'll be recapping all. That's going to be more fun to do, in my opinion, because there's going to be a lot of things to talk about. And B-roll. I love B-roll as a content creator because it adds some exciting content to the video. And also, I'm going to be working on another video I had an idea for that should be dropping this weekend. So now let's get on to the recap of this practice. Now, there's not a lot to talk about, and I'll get into why that is in just a second. However, the majority of this video will be talking about kind of the storylines as we kind of tie things up in OTAs and what we really learned from OTAs as a whole. All right, so the reason why that there's not much to talk about in this OTA practice is because most of the ones and twos didn't practice today. They did individual drills, they did walkthroughs. They didn't really do competitive practice like we've been covering the majority of these OTA practices, where they have their 7-on-7s, their 11-on-11s. The higher echelon players, for lack of a better term, didn't play. The first team, the second team, they didn't play. It's majority the developmental guys. Guys are kind of on the roster bubble, low-end depth chart guys. So all the snaps that were taken from Tommy DeVito and Nathan Rourke. Now, the play of the day was from Nathan Rourke to tight end Lawrence Cager. It was like a 30-plus yard play down the sideline for assuming to be a touchdown, maybe not, but a huge play of the day. Again, no film for it, but we're just going by their word. And Lawrence Cager was a frequent target for Nathan Rourke today. Undrafted free agent rookie John Giles also had a leaping catch today, one of the highlight plays in the last OTA practice. That one went for over 20 yards. Rourke also got things going with the running backs as he got Tyrone Tracy and Jashawn Corbin involved and hitting them in the flat, and they were able to take it upfield for a big gain. But other than that, there's nothing really that much to note. I swear to you, that is it. However, we got some other things going on. They wrote a little bit about Shane Bowen, and I thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to kind of build on that. So Shane Bowen makes his way to all position groups on defense as he installs his system and makes sure all the players know how he wants their position groups to play. He is not a screamer and likes to pull players aside after plays and teach. He also isn't hesitant to put himself into drills, playing the role of the offensive players to help train his defense. Secondary seems to have caught on quickly to what he wants them to do. During Thursday's practice, he worked with the linebackers on their gap assignments based on the look the offense gives them. So it really seems like when the Giants went through in their hiring process for the defensive coordinator, they wanted to make sure this guy was least like Wink Martindale as possible. Make sure he was Wink Martindale's yin to his yang, bro. So they want to make sure he was the polar opposite to Wink Martindale, where he's not a screamer. He's going to pull you aside and just teach you and stuff like that. And Wink Martindale, we know that he was a little bit of a hothead, as well as off the field and on the field with his defense. It really seems like to me now Shane Bowen's defense is a little bit more laid back. It's a little bit more conservative, as we all know they're more of a heavy zone team, and they like to rush 4 guys, which is a basic rush. A lot of people were arguing with me saying he can't be rushing 4 guys if we're in a 3-4. If you're rushing 3 guys, that is a short man rush. You're rushing one. A regular rush is 4 guys, whether you're in the 3-4, 5-2, 4-3, 2-4-5, 3-3-5, doesn't matter. 4-man rush is a regular rush, okay? That is the basic rush. Shane Bowen likes to rush just the basic 4-man rush. So not a lot of blitzing going on, not a lot of running around with your head on fire, not a lot of stunts, not a lot of crazy gap assignments with multiple linebackers blitzing and safety blitzes and things like that. It's very laid back. And so I'm kind of looking forward to this new style of defense, because the way Wink Martindale's defense is ran, although it's fun to watch when it works, it's not fun to watch when it gets exposed, because really what Wink Martindale's defense really relies on is the quarterback messing up, is the quarterback getting flustered and making an errant throw where he sees two safeties rushing off the same side, and he's like, holy crap, I gotta throw this ball out because one of those safeties is gonna be a free rusher. Or he sees crazy stunts inside and you got Micah McFadden in your face and you're forced to move out the way. And then you see like multiple safeties on the field, where you see 4 safeties on the field, you see all defensive ends on the field, right? That defense that Wink Martindale runs really relies on the preparedness and the readiness of the offense. But if they're ready for you, they will expose you, because what's the biggest thing you can do to counter a blitz is to throw in the direction of the blitz, and a lot of teams could catch on to that. From what it looks like, Shane Bowen's defense looks a lot more calculated, it looks a lot more coordinated, and it looks a lot more technical, in a sense, where you are basically using your technique versus the technique of the offense, where you don't have any crazy tricks up your sleeve, you're not running disguises, you're not blitzing the 3 guys off of one edge on an overload and expecting one free blitzer to get there and get lucky. No, it's 4-man rush. We're playing zone defense. We're gonna play zone defense well and bait the quarterback. That's how zone defense is mostly successful. And we're gonna rely on our 4 guys versus your 5 guys or 6 guys if you got the running back in there, and we're gonna get to the quarterback, and we are gonna do it in a technical way. We're gonna be very coordinated in it, where we're not running with our hair on fire and expecting the offense to just make an errant throw because they get nervous or the pressure is too crazy. So to wrap this thing up, what are my big takeaways from these OTAs? Well, offensively, it seems like we have a good quarterback room. There has been times where either Drew Lock has struggled. Tommy DeVito has had a solid camp up to this point. We haven't heard anything too crazy about it, but I know Drew Lock did struggle. Daniel Jones is working his way back, so it seems like the quarterback group is pretty solid. Even Nathan Rourke, over the past couple of OTAs recently, has been lighting it up, which let's see where that goes, because he's going against these developmental guys, but at least he's lighting those guys up. As far as the wide receivers, Malik Neighbors just seems like a freak of nature. It seems like Malik Neighbors is that #1 receiver, that best receiver that the Giants haven't had since Odell Beckham. It seems like he is the real deal. So that is fun to see. It's like we actually have a true #1 rather than trying to pinpoint who is the best receiver out of the receivers that we have and saying who the #1 is. Like, we know who it is with Malik Neighbors. We have a foundation. Now it's just left to have the rest of those guys kind of play their role. As far as the offensive line goes, we're not going to know anything about that until the pads come on. Right now, we just know what the alignment they want is. It's Andrew Thomas, obviously at left tackle, then at left guard, Jermaine Illuminor, center, John Michael Schmitz, and John Runyon at right guard. They kind of switched Jermaine Illuminor and John Runyon. I assume is because they want John Runyon, probably the better guard. They want him to kind of be there with Evan Neal to help him out. And then obviously we got Evan Neal at right tackle. I still think, guys, I'm not giving up hope yet. I still think there is a chance Jermaine Illuminor starts at right tackle day 1, and they just say enough with Evan Neal, the project is over, or maybe they just switch him to guard. I don't know, but we're still early in OTAs. We're still early in camp, where it's not set in stone yet. Things can still change, and so it's not like we're like inhibiting Jermaine Illuminor from working at right tackle or vice versa to Evan Neal. It's still early in the process. They can still switch, or Evan Neal can still be benched. I don't know. The defensive side of the ball, it seems like our defensive line is definitely still king as far as the best position group we have on possibly this entire team. And Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, obviously Dexter Lawrence, they've been wrecking camp so far. Obviously no pads, there is no pads, so they're probably going to be winning these type of reps, but I'm very happy to see that they're constantly being mentioned over and over again as guys that are constantly in the backfield. And then as far as the defensive backs goes, listen, that is my biggest worry this season, are the defensive backs. The offensive line, sure, but that's been a project and it's been a burden for so long that I'm kind of used to it at this point. It's kind of not normal, not worrying about the offensive line before going into a season anymore. For the past 10 years, I've been worried about the offensive line. Now we're talking about the defensive backs, and this is a position group that has had some strong years over the past couple of seasons, but now they're not necessarily bad. That's not the thing. The thing is, they're not bad. They're just very young, very inexperienced, and still trying to work their way up there. I'm afraid that there's not a lot of veteran leadership down there with the defensive backs to kind of help them. Now, Jerome Henderson is one of the best defensive back coaches in the NFL. He has earned a lot of respect in the NFL as being one of the better defensive back coaches. So I do have trust in him there. However, with your best defensive back right now being a second-year player in Deonte Banks, still very young, still has a lot to learn. He's probably the best player right now as far as all the defensive backs go combined. So, I mean, that is a little concerning. I would love if we had a veteran presence there. The most veteran presence we have is like Jalen Mills at this point. And we don't even know if he's going to make the team. Tyler Nubin seems to be okay, but it doesn't seem like he's been working with the first team at all. It seems like he's still working with the second team. So our assumed starters at safety right now are Jason Pinnock and Dane Belton. So let's see what happens with Nubin. Cordell Flott is now on the outside. We learned that from these OTAs. He is a starting outside corner, and Drew Phillips, the third-round rookie, is going to be in the slot. So that is it. That is everything for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know not too much crazy news to happen at the last OTA practice. I apologize for that, but that's all the news we were given. And so let's see if we're back on minicamp, and I got a couple of other videos I'm working on, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.